Welcome to Cyber Explore. Remember 2021? Crypto was king, NFTs were the future, and tech companies couldn't hire fast enough. Fast forward to 2024, and the party's over. Tech giants, once thought invincible, are now handing out pink slips like party favors. Google, Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, Meta, none are immune. Thousands of jobs gone. It's a bloodbath, no other way to put it. So, grab your hard hats and your antacids because it's about to get bumpy. Remember when Google was the cool kid on the block offering nap pods and free kombucha? Those days seem like a distant memory. Google, Amazon, and Apple are all feeling the pinch. Startups, once the darlings of the tech world, are also facing a harsh reality. The tech industry is in the midst of a major reset, and no one is safe. From the biggest players to the smallest startups, everyone is feeling the pressure. The new reality is one of cutthroat competition, shrinking valuations, and a shrinking job market. So, what exactly is going on here? Why are all these tech companies suddenly tightening their belts and showing employees the door? One major factor is the economic downturn. Inflation is soaring, interest rates are rising, and consumers are getting nervous. Another factor is the changing landscape of the tech industry itself. Governments around the world are cracking down on data collection practices, and consumers are becoming more aware of how their information is being used. And then there's the issue of overhiring. As the economy slows and growth stalls, many tech companies are finding themselves overstaffed and over budget. But perhaps the biggest factor of all is hubris. For years, the tech industry has enjoyed an unprecedented run of success, leading to a culture of invincibility. Remember Google, the company that made you want to trade your soul for a nap pod and unlimited snacks? Yeah, that Google. Well, the dream's over, folks. The shine was wearing off, and the world was watching. So, what exactly happened at Google? How did the company go from being the darling of the tech world to handing out pink slips like they were going out of style? And for Google, the money came from ads. Lots and lots of ads. See, when the economy took a nosedive and inflation soared, businesses started cutting back on their ad spending. The adpocalypse has forced Google to confront a difficult truth. The days of easy money are over. The writing was on the wall, or rather, in a company-wide email sent by Google CEO Sundar Pichai. Pichai's memo acknowledged the challenging economic climate and the need for Google to streamline its operations. Translation: layoffs were coming. The new reality was one of caution, uncertainty, and the need to adapt or die. For the thousands of Googlers who received those dreaded pink slips, the news was devastating. The next day, they were out of a job, left to navigate a job market that was suddenly looking a lot less certain. The layoffs have exposed the human cost of the tech industry's rapid growth and subsequent contraction. The big question now is, what's next for Google? Can the company that revolutionized the way we access information innovate its way out of this crisis? Google certainly has the resources and the talent to turn things around. Some analysts believe that Google needs to focus on diversifying its revenue streams and reducing its reliance on advertising. The road ahead for Google is uncertain, but one thing is clear: the company cannot afford to stand still. Remember when Amazon was the unstoppable force? The company that could deliver anything from a toothbrush to a Tesla right to your doorstep? Well, Even Amazon, the titan of e-commerce, isn't immune to the economic hangover currently plaguing the tech world. News of Amazon's layoffs hit like a ton of unsold inventory. The once unthinkable had happened. Amazon was scaling back, and the tremors were felt throughout the industry. Amazon's layoffs weren't just about trimming the fat, they were strategic cuts aimed at streamlining operations and refocusing the company on its core businesses. The company's ambitious drone delivery program, Prime Air, saw significant reductions. Amazon's foray into the world of physical retail with its cashierless Amazon Go stores also faced cutbacks. Even Amazon's cloud computing division, AWS, long considered the company's golden goose, wasn't spared. The new era of Amazon was all about efficiency, profitability, and a laser-like focus on the bottom line. Section 3. The Bezos Blueprint, Efficiency Above All Else. To understand Amazon's layoffs, one must understand the company's founder and former CEO, Jeff Bezos, and his relentless pursuit of efficiency. Bezos, who once famously said that your margin is my opportunity, built Amazon into a behemoth by obsessing over every penny, squeezing every ounce of productivity out of his workforce, and constantly seeking ways to do more with less. This Bezos blueprint, as some have called it, has been both lauded and criticized. On the one hand, it's led to incredible innovation, lightning-fast delivery speeds, and a customer experience that's the envy of the retail world. But on the other hand, it's created a workplace culture that some describe as demanding, unforgiving, and at times downright ruthless. With Bezos no longer at the helm, many wondered if his successor, Andy Jassy, would soften the company's hard-driving culture. The layoffs, however, suggest that the Bezos blueprint is still very much in effect, perhaps even more so in the face of economic uncertainty. The message from Amazon's leadership was clear: efficiency trumps all else. Employees were expected to be productive, results-oriented, and constantly innovating. Those who couldn't keep up, or who were deemed non-essential to the company's core mission, were shown the door. It was a harsh reality, but one that was perhaps inevitable in a company built on the principles of relentless optimization and growth at all costs. Section 4. Whispers from the Warehouse, the human cost of Amazon's ambition. While Amazon's layoffs sent shockwaves through the tech industry, it was the company's warehouse workers, the backbone of its vast logistics operation, who bore the brunt of the cuts. These workers, many of whom toil long hours in physically demanding conditions for modest wages, were suddenly facing an uncertain future. Stories emerged from Amazon's warehouses of fear, anxiety, and a sense of betrayal. Workers who had helped the company achieve record profits during the pandemic, risking their health and well-being to keep packages flowing, were now being let go with little warning and even less explanation. "It's like they used us and then discarded us," said one warehouse worker who wished to remain anonymous. "We were heroes during the pandemic, but now we're just numbers on a spreadsheet." The layoffs highlighted the growing disconnect between Amazon's corporate image and the realities faced by many of its workers. While the company boasts about its commitment to its employees, the layoffs painted a different picture, one of a company more concerned with profits than people. The whispers from the warehouse were a stark reminder that behind Amazon's slick interface and one-click convenience lies a human workforce that's often overlooked and undervalued. Section 5. Beyond one click, can Amazon reinvent itself again? The layoffs at Amazon, while undoubtedly painful for those affected, could be seen as a necessary course correction for a company that had perhaps grown too big, too fast. The question now is, what's next for Amazon? Can the company that revolutionized e-commerce and cloud computing once again reinvent itself and emerge from this downturn stronger than ever? Amazon certainly has the resources, the talent, and the track record of innovation to navigate these turbulent times. The company is sitting on a mountain of data, a vast logistics network, and a brand that's recognized and trusted worldwide. But to succeed in the long term, Amazon may need to look beyond its core businesses and embrace new opportunities. Some analysts believe that Amazon's future lies in healthcare, where its data analytics capabilities and logistics expertise could revolutionize the delivery of medical care. Others see potential in the metaverse, where Amazon could create immersive shopping experiences and virtual marketplaces. Whatever path Amazon chooses, one thing is clear: the company cannot afford to rest on its laurels. The tech landscape is constantly evolving, and the companies that survive and thrive are those that are willing to adapt, innovate, and take risks. Amazon has reinvented itself before, transforming from an online bookstore to an e-commerce giant to a cloud computing powerhouse. The question now is, can it do it again? Remember Apple? The company that practically invented cool? The one that made you ditch your clunky headphones for those sleek white earbuds? Yeah, that Apple. The one that seemed untouchable, a shining beacon of innovation and success in the tech world. Well, even Apple, with its shiny gadgets and cult-like following, isn't immune to the economic headwinds buffeting the tech industry. News of layoffs at Apple hit like a dropped iPhone. Unexpected, jarring, and leaving everyone wondering if the screen had just cracked. This was Apple, after all, the company that seemed to defy gravity with its ever-increasing profits and product launches that felt more like religious experiences than tech events. The company that once boasted about its ever-growing workforce, its commitment to creating jobs, was suddenly showing the door to a significant number of employees. It was a stark reminder that even in the walled garden of Apple, where everything seemed polished and perfect, reality had a way of biting back. The news sent shockwaves through Silicon Valley and beyond. If Apple, the gold standard of tech companies, was feeling the pinch, what did it mean for everyone else? The once unthinkable was happening. Apple was trimming its sails, and the tech world was left wondering if this was just a minor course correction or a sign of stormier seas ahead. For years, Apple's success has been intrinsically linked to the iPhone, its flagship product that redefined the smartphone and became a cultural icon. But as the global economy slows and consumers tighten their belts, even the iPhone, that seemingly invincible cash cow, is showing signs of vulnerability. Sales of the iPhone, while still robust, have slowed in recent quarters, leading some analysts to question whether the smartphone market has reached saturation point. Consumers, faced with rising inflation and economic uncertainty, are holding on to their devices for longer, delaying upgrades and opting for more affordable alternatives. But Apple's challenges extend beyond the iPhone. The company's other product lines, from Macs to iPads to wearables, are also facing increased competition and slowing growth. The once clear lines between Apple's premium products and those of its competitors are blurring, making it harder for Apple to justify its premium pricing. The cracks in Apple's ecosystem are starting to show. The company that once seemed untouchable, its products the object of desire and envy, is facing a new reality. A world where consumers are more discerning, competition is fiercer, and innovation alone is no longer a guarantee of success. Since taking the helm from the late Steve Jobs, Apple CEO Tim Cook has been credited with steering the company to even greater heights, overseeing record profits and expanding into new markets. But Cook, known for his steady hand and operational expertise, is now facing his biggest challenge yet: navigating Apple through choppy economic waters while maintaining its reputation for innovation and customer loyalty. Cook's response to the downturn has been characteristically measured. Unlike some of his tech counterparts who have resorted to mass layoffs and dramatic cost-cutting measures, Cook has taken a more surgical approach, trimming staff in specific areas while continuing to invest in research and development. In a recent memo to employees, Cook acknowledged the challenging economic environment but stressed that Apple's long-term prospects remain strong. "We are confident in our strategy and continue to believe that our most innovative and exciting times are ahead of us," Cook wrote, urging employees to stay focused on delivering exceptional products and experiences for our customers. Cook's message is clear: Apple is not panicking. The company is tightening its belt, streamlining operations, and staying the course. Whether this measured approach will be enough to weather the current economic storm and maintain Apple's position as a tech leader remains to be seen. Silicon Valley's ripple effect. Apple's layoffs have sent ripples of anxiety throughout Silicon Valley and the wider tech industry. Apple, once the gold standard, now feels the pressure, sending a sobering message to other tech companies. Startups face greater scrutiny from investors. The era of easy money and rapid growth is over. Increased competition, tighter budgets, and a focus on profitability define the new reality. Layoffs at Apple could be seen as a necessary correction. The tech industry must adapt, embrace efficiency, and create new value. Section 5. The Apple of Tomorrow: Innovation or Imitation? The layoffs at Apple raise a fundamental question about the company's future. Can Apple, once synonymous with innovation, continue to push the boundaries of technology and captivate consumers, or will it become more reliant on incremental updates and imitations of its competitors? The answer, as with most things in the tech world, is complex. Apple still has a deep bench of talented engineers and designers, and the company continues to invest heavily in research and development. But the company is also facing increased competition from rivals like Samsung, Google, and a host of Chinese manufacturers that are rapidly catching up in terms of both technology and design. To maintain its position as a tech leader, Apple may need to take more risks, explore new markets, and perhaps even rethink its core product philosophy. The company's foray into services, with Apple Music, Apple TV Plus, and other offerings, suggests a willingness to diversify beyond hardware. The Apple of tomorrow may look very different from the Apple of today. The company that once defined the future of technology may need to reinvent itself once again to stay ahead of the curve. The challenge for Apple, and indeed for the entire tech industry, is to find a balance between innovation and imitation, between pushing the boundaries of what's possible and delivering products that meet the evolving needs of consumers. Microsoft and Meta, two giants, one shrinking blanket. Microsoft and Meta were facing their own reckonings. Microsoft was the uncool dad of tech, all about spreadsheets and Windows updates. Meta was busy trying to convince us to live in a virtual reality called the metaverse. Even dads get the blues, and virtual reality doesn't pay the bills. Both companies faced the same grim reality. The tech boom was over. Microsoft had gone on a hiring spree during the pandemic, but as the world emerged from lockdown, growth slowed. Too many employees, not enough growth. Meta faced a self-inflicted wound called the metaverse. Mark Zuckerberg bet the company's future on virtual reality, but the metaverse hadn't set the world on fire. Most people prefer the real world over a digital playground. Both companies were in the same sinking boat, trying to assure everyone that everything was fine. Section 2. Windows of opportunity closing. Microsoft's gamble on AI. Microsoft, the company that once ruled the PC world with its Windows operating system, had been trying to reinvent itself as a cloud computing powerhouse, and for a while it seemed to be working. Microsoft Azure, the company's cloud platform, was giving Amazon Web Services a run for its money. But the layoffs signaled that even Microsoft wasn't immune to the economic downturn. The company announced it was cutting 10,000 jobs, primarily in its engineering and recruiting divisions. It was a bitter pill to swallow for a company that had prided itself on its technical prowess and its ability to attract top talent. But behind the scenes, Microsoft was making a big bet on the future, a bet on artificial intelligence. The company had poured billions into developing its AI capabilities, including its partnership with OpenAI, the creators of the wildly popular ChatGPT. The layoffs, while painful in the short term, were seen by some analysts as a strategic move to free up resources for Microsoft's AI push. The company was betting that AI would be the next big thing in tech, the next Windows or Azure. But it was a risky bet, one that would require significant investment and a bit of luck to pay off. Section 3, Meta's metaverse misfire, Zuckerberg's billion-dollar reality check. Meanwhile, over at Meta, Mark Zuckerberg was facing his own billion-dollar reality check. The metaverse, his grand vision for the future of social interaction, hadn't exactly taken the world by storm. Turns out, strapping a clunky headset to your face and hanging out with legless avatars in a virtual world wasn't as appealing as Zuckerberg had hoped. Meta's Reality Labs division, the arm of the company responsible for developing the metaverse, had been hemorrhaging money. Billions of dollars had been poured into the project, with little to show for it besides some impressive-looking demos and a whole lot of skepticism from investors and the public alike. The layoffs at Meta, which totaled 11,000 jobs, were seen as a sign that even Zuckerberg, with his vast fortune and unwavering belief in his own vision, was starting to feel the heat. The metaverse, once touted as the future of Meta, was being scaled back, and the company was shifting its focus back to its core social media platforms, Facebook and Instagram. It was a humbling moment for Zuckerberg, who had staked his reputation and a good chunk of his fortune on the metaverse. The layoffs were a sign that even the most ambitious tech projects can fall victim to the laws of economics and the fickleness of consumer tastes. Section 4. The talent exodus when pink slips led to brain drain. The wave of layoffs at Google, Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, and Meta had a ripple effect throughout the tech industry, creating a domino effect of job losses and hiring freezes. But the most significant impact wasn't just the number of jobs lost, it was the talent exodus that followed. Silicon Valley, once a magnet for the world's brightest minds, was suddenly experiencing a brain drain. Highly skilled engineers, designers, and product managers, many of whom had spent years honing their craft at the tech giants, were suddenly finding themselves out of work and questioning their career choices. Some opted to leave the tech industry altogether, seeking new opportunities in fields like healthcare, education, or even starting their own businesses. Others moved to smaller startups or relocated to other tech hubs around the world, where the cost of living was lower and the competition for jobs less fierce. The talent exodus had the potential to reshape the tech landscape as skilled workers took their knowledge and experience to new industries and geographies. For the tech giants, it was a wake-up call. The days of taking their talent pipeline for granted were over. They would need to work harder to attract and retain the best and brightest, offering more than just ping-pong tables and free snacks. Section 5. Adapt or Fade. The tech industry's Darwinian moment. The tech layoffs of 2024 marked a turning point for the industry, a Darwinian moment where only the most adaptable and innovative companies would survive and thrive. The era of easy money, unchecked growth, and a seemingly insatiable appetite for all things tech was over. The companies that emerged from this period of turmoil would be those that had learned from their mistakes, adapted to the new economic realities, and most importantly, refocused on what truly mattered, creating products and services that solved real problems for real people. The tech industry had always been cyclical, prone to booms and busts. But the layoffs of 2024 were a stark reminder that even the most successful companies were not immune to the forces of change. The companies that would succeed in the years to come would be those that embraced change, took risks, and never lost sight of their core values. The tech industry had always been about disruption, about upending the status quo and creating the future. The layoffs, while painful for those affected, could ultimately lead to a more resilient, innovative, and human-centered tech industry, one that was more focused on solving real problems and less on chasing the next shiny object. Remember that feeling after a wild party? The kind where the music was loud, the drinks flowed freely, and everyone thought the good times would never end? Then the sun comes up, the music stops, and you're left with a pounding headache and a messy room. That's where the tech industry is right now. The 2024 tech layoffs were a stark reminder that even the most extravagant parties have to end. For years, the tech industry was riding high, fueled by cheap money and a surge in demand. But like all good things, it couldn't last forever. The layoffs were a much-needed reality check for the industry. The hangover is real, folks. The tech industry is going through a transformation. The true measure of success isn't just about valuations and stock prices, but about the value they create for their customers, employees, and society. Remember all those laid-off tech workers we talked about? The ones who suddenly found themselves without a job, a paycheck, and maybe even a sense of purpose? Turns out tech workers are a resilient bunch. They're used to adapting, pivoting, and finding creative solutions to complex problems. Some are taking a break, reassessing their career goals, traveling, and spending time with family. Others are diving into the job market, updating resumes and networking. They're exploring new opportunities both within and outside the tech industry. Laid-off tech workers are transitioning into roles in consulting, finance, healthcare, education, and more. The tech layoffs are creating a wave of talent that can drive innovation in new ways. Remember when Silicon Valley was the epicenter of the universe? The place where the future was being invented, one app, one gadget, one line of code at a time? Yeah, those were the days. But the tech layoffs of 2024 have brought a much-needed dose of humility to the valley. Suddenly, the tech bros aren't looking so invincible. The once unquestioned belief in the power of technology is being replaced with a more nuanced perspective. The layoffs have forced Silicon Valley to confront some uncomfortable truths. Growth cannot continue indefinitely, and even the most innovative companies need to make money to survive. The relentless pursuit of scale has led to concerns about job security and the impact of technology on society. But here's the good news. Silicon Valley is nothing if not resilient. It's a place built on innovation and challenging the status quo. The layoffs, while painful, have also served as a wake-up call. The valley is still a hub of creativity and ingenuity with a renewed sense of purpose. Technology should be used to solve real problems and make the world a better place. The tech industry is at a crossroads, but if history is any guide, it will emerge stronger and more innovative. So, what's next for the tech industry? Is this the beginning of the end, or just the end of the beginning? Predicting the future is a fool's errand. Remember when personal computers were doubted, or when the internet was just a fad? The tech industry is constantly evolving and finding new ways to surprise us. Layoffs are just one chapter. The show goes on, and the next act promises to be exciting and unpredictable. The future of tech is being written now by entrepreneurs, engineers, and even laid-off workers reinventing themselves.
And if you're new here, please hit the subscribe button so you make sure to never miss our weekly videos. Kindly hit the like button. Thank you for watching.